Let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Go through some of it. I want to remind you of what we are doing as Truth Warriors, why this is important, and what you have to know. And what is really interesting about this. See, what I'm doing right now with you, which is very critical, I'm involved in a 30-minute I could go much longer, but I don't want to, zone you out there. But I have been, as you, involved in a look at what's really going on in the world. We're a very limited group of people. Very limited, very lonely. Face it, you've got friends of yours who don't know what the hell you're talking about. I do. It's gotten so bad that I can't talk to anyone about what I think about anything. Okay? And when I immediately tell them the truth, they look at me and they say, I don't know what this guy's talking about. He's scaring me. The other day we were talking about something. Let's take this step by step. Russia. I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. You have to stop, not you, but they have to stop this naivete, this sophomoric way of looking at the realities of realpolitik, international relations, espionage, reality, good, bad, war, name it, and understand how things work, how things are situated. Right now, NATO is if you will, an adjunct, if you will, that runs almost independent to, sometimes a concert with, but independent to the UN. And I was talking to my friend Jerry Springer the other day. I love the man, but I wish I could have recorded that conversation. It was as though he was reading from the NATO manual. And it's not just Jerry Springer, but I mean, it's other people in general, the people like that. Because we're taught NATO's good, NATO's good, right? Right, they're good. Pentagon's good, CIA's good, right? Those are the good guys because they are us. They are we. We are they are us. We are all together. Go, you, right? That's what we're taught. We don't do anything wrong. NATO is North American treaty. No. This is a good. They're good. They're protected. In fact, they want us. They want us. That's the official line. NATO only goes where they're invited. We don't, we're maybe in the Baltic states, and we're basically in Ukraine, and we're around there. We have basically missile batteries. We're so close to Russia right now, they don't even need missiles. They can hit them with artillery. Do you understand that? Do you understand how that works? You can go on YouTube, and you can hear, there was a fascinating interview I had, a debate with Dr. Stephen Cohen, and a woman from the Washington Post, she says, don't you understand, Stephen? We're NATO, we're there at their invitation, at their behest. We're not some type of interlopers. NATO is merely helping these peripheral countries and areas protect themselves against the marauding, invading, those lecherous Russians. You know how they are. Now, stop right there. If you don't know the facts, if that's all you know, and if you're bored and you want to move on to watch the Golden Globes or the game, or if you just want to hear your position validated, if you want to just hear, don't worry, we're the good guys, NATO, stop, no, don't think, no, no. If that's what you want to hear, then you're going to move on, right? You're just going to say, okay, fine. When you hear Ukraine, Crimea, people are saying, well, I don't even know what the hell they're talking about. I mean, didn't Russia invade Ukraine? No. Crimea, remember the vote? Now, right off the bat, when you ask people, and this is what I'm telling you to do, and do this, YouTube is the best place to do it. Pick 50 of them. Just go anywhere, get the basics. Just take that. Look at the map. Look where Ukraine is. Look where it is. Look where Crimea is. Look at the strategic importance of that. Understand what Russia feels. You can't grasp anything unless you know the parties. This is what I'm trying to tell you. If for some reason the United States were to ever, and I mean the U.S., I mean the citizens, were to collectively feel that Russia really wasn't the boogeyman, really wasn't the bad guy, really was almost, dare I say, if there was a sense of being almost empathetic, empathic, where we would say, why are we doing this to them? Why are we taunting them? I never understood Ukraine. I didn't understand Crimea. I didn't get this. I didn't understand this. Why are we doing this? Back off, guys. Do you know what happens to NATO then? Do you know what happens to basically the stranglehold that they have in terms of getting into NATO? Oh, you're Poland. Oh, you want to join NATO? Well, you got to buy our weapon system from us, from our guys. You got to buy our stuff. You got to join the ranks, and it's going to be, and we're going to protect you from, it's like classic, like the mob did. We're going to make sure you don't have any union problems. I don't have any union problems. Well, you will if you don't sign up with us. I mean, it's almost, it's beyond rudimentary, you know, this thing, how it happens and how it, but let me just focus on this Russia thing, because that's why Russia, and hacking, Russia with the elections, Russia wants, they're doing everything. Russia wants Trump. Russia's blackmailing Trump. Russia has business deals with Trump. Russia could own Trump once he's president. Russia could, in essence, violate the safety, the sanctity of our, you know, country. It could, I mean, every scenario. That's why Russia, not China. They could have just as easily picked China. But China, there's no NATO connection with China. It's Russia. That's what this is about. Money, power, military-industrial complex, war. You can throw in neoconservatism, neocon, warmongering. Either way, step number one, demonization of Russia. It's critical. Now, I'm not telling you, listen very carefully, I'm not telling you that we should ever turn our back or trust anyone. Okay? We all remember the line from The Godfather about keep your enemies close and your friends and all this stuff. We never turn our backs on anyone. Okay? And I'm not suggesting you that we should just turn over the keys to Russia or France or Italy or Germany or England or any of the BRICS countries. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. Many times we have threats from people. People pose an existential kind of threat to us because our interests are not mutually consistent. They're not concomitant. Not that they pose a direct threat to us per se, but that our interests are different. All right? But over and above that, what this is about are the money men, the weapons dealers, the military-industrial complex. This is not just an expression. Ike knew something. This is a guy who knew a little bit about war. And by the way, do us a favor. The next Mr. President-elect Trump, Mr. P. Please stop saluting. You're not in uniform. It's been said a million times. Only when you are in uniform do you return a salute. Civilians don't salute. So you're a civilian. You're not in uniform, okay? You're not. Eisenhower, Ike, General of the Army, Supreme Allied Commander, knew a little bit about military protocol. He never saluted. Because he always said, I'm not in uniform. Reagan started that. Stop that. And there's something about seeing Obama do it that makes me, I don't know why. You can do whatever you want. I mean, you can't make them. You can't tell them to stop. There's kind of this, hey, how you doing? Then there's this, the actual. So stop doing that. But, so let me reiterate. Let me perorate. Let me review. You've got to understand why this Russia business. What's Russia? Russia. I sound like Marsha. But what is it? That's it. If there's no Russian threat, if there's no boogeyman, no Kremlin bad guys, there's nothing. NATO, why? What's the point? What do you need it for? That's number one, okay? Keep in mind that. Number two, there is a McCarthyism going on right now. There is a classic McCarthyism that we are seeing that kind of dovetails into this. That's part and parcel of that. But it is meant to discredit alternative and foreign media. Anybody. Because let me explain this again. This little device, by the way, see what I got here? See here, there, and here? It's a little sticker. They come off, put them back on. You should have them on every device. Don't put tape on it. But there's a neat little company that I got these from. You can go online and get them. I'm not going to, if they want to advertise with me, they can do that on their own. But cover your phones. Cover it. Can't do much about that microphone because they're picking up what you're saying. But at least this, because they be watching. Who are they? You know. Okay, now, this, as I was saying, the internet has provided a new platform for people to disseminate information, the likes of which we've never seen before. In the old days, when you wanted to make a record, and you wanted to be, one of my dearest friends is Jerry Wexler. Got his book. Oh, right here. Right there. And he and I were great friends. He has the greatest vocabulary of anybody I've ever known in my life. He was simply out of this world. And when you wanted to go, for example, to be an Aretha Franklin or Big Joe Turner or Allman Brothers or whoever it was, you had to go to a company. They had the machinery. I mean, they had the studio. They actually could make the wax, and you had to go. You were basically at their mercy. Then they would sign a deal, maybe publishing rights, and they owned your stuff. And then you would go out, and they would have the gate, and they would have the touring fees, and oh my God, you were basically a slave to them. They called the shots. Enter this platform, just plain old the laptop, and all of a sudden people said, we don't need you anymore. We don't need your wax. There is no more vinyl. We're doing it on our own. We're putting out our own music. We don't need a label. What's a label? What does that even mean? What is a label? We can go out, and if we go viral, if we go whatever it is, we'll promote it. We'll be our own A&R kind of, promote, but we'll do it. Changed everything. Everything. There are people on YouTube making fortunes. Kids. Young girls with makeup and style, whatever they're called. I don't know what the hell. What they call, honey? The style trendsetters, or anyway. But there are people doing that, okay? Influencer, thank you. Influencers. So add to it now this. Alex Jones comes along, for example. Or Drudge, or whoever. You name your favorite. Doesn't matter. And they come along, and all of a sudden they say, we don't need any of this. We don't need a stick for AM radio or any radio. We have this. Give it away free. Stop right there. Wall Street, big houses, every day, I get emails about stories about Cumulus and iHeart and Emmis and Beasley and this and that and CBS. They want to sell it. And the radio business. I've been in the radio business for 30 years, and Sirius XM, kind of, satellite radio. And there's, this that we're doing, there is nothing that keeps this from going worldwide. It is worldwide already by virtue of the mail, but there's nothing that prevents, let's say, me from being the video version of the Beatles, all right, other than, talent, no, or government interaction. This changes everything. On 8th Avenue, right across from the Port Authority, is the New York Times. Brick and mortar, huge, with their reputation in the gutter. They've got serious overhead. Salaries. My God, pensions and this and that. And they're going to be outdone by a guy in Austin, Texas, named Alex Jones, or my buddy James Corbett, or whoever. Some of the best, and this is just video now, but just go down the list. Okay. That's where the fake news comes from. So in addition to the demonization of Russia by virtue of the NATO concerns, we now have the demonization of those people through a directed vector towards this to say that they're Russian propagandists. They used to say un-American, but they don't do that anymore. But that's kind of what they're saying right now. Why? Because we pose a threat, an existential threat, a threat to the existence of mainstream media. RT came along. RT is in their RT platform. It is I think the largest, you can go check RT, just go on there, YouTube. The largest YouTube news platform with about 4 billion views. It's enormous. All over the world. And somebody said the other day that RT, Russia Today, that RT was, it was funny, I was doing something on RT and somebody said, well, everybody knows it's from a Russian perspective. And I said, whoa, wait a minute, hold it. And this is important because, number one, I'm an independent analyst and I don't give anybody any perspective other than the truth. When I go on and I talk about government surveillance, when I talk about the law, when I talk about media analysis, when I talk about a deal that goes, how NBC or MSDNC or how something has changed, when I talk about how water's contaminated, when I talk about UFOs and science, when I talk about anything I want to talk about, I don't give a Russian perspective. I don't give an American perspective. There is no perspective. It's some of the best coverage there is, bar none. Bar none. And they say, well, it's government owned. Oh, you mean like the BBC? You mean like that? Who does some very good stuff. Al Jazeera, CCTV, Press TV, France 24. I mean, should I go down? NPR? You see what's happening? They're throwing this at you. They're throwing that Russian thing. So Russia is a McCarthy kind of a salvo to go after Russia for NATO, as I said. Russia to attack independent, alternative, and foreign sites. And also, number 3, to go after RT. Now, here's the best part. I know people, very serious, who said, where do I get RT? Never heard of it before. Why does anybody in their right mind promote the very thing they don't want you to know about? And I said, what do you mean, where do you get it? Well, I mean, is it dishwasher? Do they say, do I, is it on my cable channel? Your cable channel? No, it's RT.com. What are you talking about? Well, you and I know how to do it. That's very, very simple. But this is something that is so phenomenally critical because CBS, ABC, NBC, they're dying. When I tell you that, dying, you have no idea. Let me tell you what's happening. They're so scared right now. These properties, these monster properties, they're a long way from being, not profitable, but not like they used to be. Local news programs. I got this a lot. Friends of mine. Hey, did you hear about Joe? He got a buyout. A what? You mean they fired him? No, it's a buyout. They bought him out. Bought out what? He didn't have a contract. Well, you mean he got a severance package, right? Yeah, that ain't a buyout. They fired him. Yeah, well, still, what What are you talking about? And it's happening all over the place. You've got slave labor in 20-somethings, and I'm not... Look, the reason why I make fun of sometimes 20-somethings is not because of their age, but because they don't have any experience. It's not the age thing. It's that anybody who has not been around, who's not seen different things, there's a certain negative aspect to that. I'm sorry to tell you, but it's true. So you've got these folks who are crazy. CNN right now is scared shitless. I don't know how to put it other than that. I mean, seriously. You know what it's like? Fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news, fake news. You're a laugh. You're a joke. You're a joke. How would you like that? Hey, Chris Cuomo. Hey, Don Lemon. Don Lemon. Supreme joke. And to show you how disgusting they are, to show you how backwards they are, to show you how convoluted these people are. You ready for this? They, honest to God, still don't understand that their reputation is shot. So what they do is they put a Don Lemon out. They put some idiot, some drunk on New Year's Eve getting a piercing because they're hoping maybe it's almost like televised clickbait. Maybe Dan Abrams will pick it up. Maybe it'll make Mediaite. Maybe somehow people, I don't know. Hey, they're talking about us, I guess. You've got MSDNC. NBC, one of the greatest stories ever. These are the guys who took TARP money originally. Think about that one. Think about that. When they were part of GE Capital, GE, whatever, which was really NBC, then it became NBC Universal, but NBC with Jeff Immelt, remember? He became Obama's Economic Advisory Board head. He's taking TARP money. Imagine if the Murdoch boys or Rupert took money from the government, you'd be screaming. So they came up with MSDNC, Microsoft. Microsoft said, this sucks. We're stuck with that MS thing, but we're out of it. Then they came along, and it was pretty good at first. It wasn't too bad. It was not too bad. Remember Scarborough Country? I kind of like that. Tucker Carlson had a show on there. I used to love Scarborough Country. Oh, my God. My old producer Pete and I would Scarborough Country. They had that old 70s terrible radio puker sound. They have that on some. They still do this. Coming up. Just that boss voice with the, they go from the regular mic to the sound of the phone. And it's just so, they haven't changed. What is this, boss radio, the 70s? Come on, Sparky, get with the program. But now they're just, who do they have? Megyn Kelly and Greta Van Susteren? Please. Because they're desperate. So, that explains the sun is, don't you love this lighting? Isn't this amazing? This light. So everybody right now is just going berserk over this because they don't know what to do. So going back to reiterate, blame Russia, blame foreign influences, propaganda. Then you have Hillary and you have the Democrats. They say, oh, this is great. Hillary says, this is terrific. Did you hear where Hillary was? Some people think she was drunk. I hope she wasn't. But she was at some restaurant that yesterday, this week, she came out apparently. She had looked at some people like she was loaded. They were with Ted Danson or whatever. I don't know if it's true. But think about her. What is she saying? I can see her like in the, with her load on. I didn't lose, did I? No, Hillary. It was the Russians. Well, the Russians are everything. I mean, you blame anything that goes wrong, blame the Russians. Bad TV ratings, it's the Russians. You lose the election, it's the Russians. And to date, nobody's ever said exactly how the Russians actually did something. Let me repeat this, and this is very important. And ask somebody. Ask anybody you want. Ask them, tell me exactly how the Russians changed the election. I gave you this analogy, and I'll do it again. Let's say you came home at night, and your door is shattered. Shattered, it's off the hinges, and you walk into your room, your home, whatever, and nothing is moved. Nothing's moved, nothing's changed, nothing's missing. And you call the police and you say, I've been burglarized. Technically, you have been. Because burglary at common law is the entering and remaining in a dwelling at night with the intention of committing a felony therein. And anyway, you might have done that. It's been whittled down now, but you don't have to steal something. But the point is, That's kind of what this is. Okay, they hack. Let's assume there's some evidence of some indicia of hacking. And John McAfee, by the way, destroyed this theory. Just destroyed it. There is no evidence of Russian hacking. But people are so habituated, so conditioned by design to believe anything that happens. Anything that happens. Russian hacking. And then Trump the other day, I don't even know what he's talking about. Why did he do this? Was he asleep at the wheel? Asleep at the switch? Ray Benson asleep at the wheel. Why did he say, okay, I admit there was Russian hacking? Wait a minute, what do you mean by that? Russian hacking how? Now you're doing it. Please, somebody tell us. So, they're going nuts. So Hillary blames the Russians because she feels bad that she's lost. The Democrats blame the Russians because they've got to go to their big donors. And by the way, they're going to say, oh, we need more from you. And they're going to say, wait a minute. Do you guys have your shit together now? Oh, yeah, we do. Are you sure? Well, it wasn't our fault. With the Russians. We got the Russians. I mean, it's not like we don't have a message or we're incompetent or our platforms are vague. No. It's because of the Russians. Those Russian bastards. Those Russians. That's the Russians. So that's it. Then you have, of course, the idea of NATO blaming the Russians for reasons I've said. So don't you understand where Russians, I mean, it serves so many reasons. And then this nonsense where Smith from BuzzFeed takes this off of 4chan, this hoax, hands it, somehow gets to McCain. Then McCain says, oh, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not, blackmailing anybody. I'm just giving it to the FBI. I'm giving it to the FBI because, after all, the FBI, they're the ones who are. Sure, it offends people. Sure, it makes Trump look bad. Sure, it might be, in essence, libelous in its own right. Sure, I'm basically passing on unsubstantiated messages, but I'm doing it not because I dislike Trump, mind you. I'm doing it merely to let the FBI know so that we can do something to stop the Russians. And Putin is laughing his ass off. Meanwhile, we're looking at a Cold War situation. And nobody wants to talk about it. The other day, I bring him up again. Jerry Springer, I was on the Opie show, did not understand me. But he says, oh, we're not going to worry about the nuclear war. Come on, mutually assured destruction. I said, you sound like you're from the 50s. I'm not talking about Cleveland being incinerated. I'm talking about Ukraine, the Baltic states. I mean, it used to be Berlin was the epicenter. Then it was really Miami, if you think about it, but also but Cuba. But now it's Russia. Do you understand? Do you not get this? Do you not see where this is? That's the issue. And what you're doing and they're doing is they're basically feeding into this. And this anti-Putin, look, like I said, I'm not talking about loving Russia, loving Putin, teaming up, converting, whatever that means. I'm talking about, why are we doing that? The same reason why I was against, and most people with two neurons, these military. Oh, by the way, I will tell you that after 9/11, which is one of the reasons for my epiphany, 9/11, I didn't give a damn where we went. Because I was here in New York. I remember that. The smell and here. Ground zero, baby. Here. I remember that. I'll never be fooled again. So what I want you to know, what I want you to do is, I gave you these assignments. I want you to do this again. I want you to go and look on YouTube. And I want you to find any explanation of Russia there is. Learn about it. Listen to Stephen Cohen. Listen to my buddy John Batchelor. Listen to Ukraine. There's all these wonderful, I don't care where you go. Understand. Go back and review. Look at McCarthyism. Look how that happened. Look what Red Scares was about. Look how propaganda and fear dovetail together and make this country even more unsafe when it's the exact opposite. that they intend to accomplish. How about this light? Is this not the wildest light? I didn't do it. I swear I didn't do it. In any event, by the way, it's 64 degrees in New York, in the city. It's going to be, what, 30 tomorrow? 30? No. 30? No, don't worry about it. It's fine. No, sounds fine. My beloved wife. Isn't she great? She's terrific. Normally, I told her, I said, cook something up. Some of you people say, well, I like the noise in the background. This is my setup. This is my lair. This is it. This is it. This is all you're going to get. And this is all we need. All right, my friends, until you and I meet each other again, this is your new best friend, Lionel, asking you, of course, to like this video and also to subscribe to the Lionel Nation channel. And also, you must comment as you see fit.